Hey guys, it's Nikki from StealthShampoo, leader of the Battleborn team, Salt Command, and today I'm here to bring you guys a video discussing the command menu over here and bringing you guys a little bit more in depth with the gear system so you guys are ready to play Battleborn when it comes out May 3rd and during the open beta. Now, first off, when you open up the command menu, you'll see over here on the left tab 25 unique Battleborn characters, all from different factions, and you can scroll through the ones you've unlocked. I actually have every single character unlocked, but you're going to get about 7 to start off when you first boot up the game, and you'll have to unlock others either through leveling up or through unique challenges. You can have 2 different ways to unlock each character depending on how you want to do that. Now, scrolling over here to career, you can actually check out different missions that you've played, difficulties you've completed it on, score you've got while you completed it, as well as some other in-depth stats to the game. You also have challenges that give you bonus XP and rewards for completing different tasks. Now, going over here to titles, there's actually hundreds of different titles, 186 actually, different titles you can earn in Battleborn. I've earned a good portion of them, each unlocked through different parameters. For example, little buddy right here is unlocked by building 100 Stinger turrets. Reborn as Badass is a little bit harder to earn. Win 10 meltdown matches before the enemy team scores 100 points. And there is plenty I still haven't earned. And there is a lot for you guys to do to customize your own profile in Battleborn. In fact, you can see my title right here, Master of Umbra. I'm actually the first one to have unlocked this title. I'm pretty happy about that. And it comes with an accompanying emblem, so you guys can earn yours and rock it in the lobbies to impress your friends. The marketplace over here is just a little extension of the gear. Heading over here to the gear tab, you guys can check out the different loadouts I've made. Now, when you first boot up the game, you're not going to have as many loadouts as I do, but throughout natural progression, you will earn 9. You can buy additional loadouts for some currency that you guys can see up here in the top left of my screen. I could purchase another one, but that's not what I'm going to do right now because I have plenty to work with. 9 is a really good amount. Once you hit level 100, you'll have everything I do. Now, over here, you guys can see that there are 3 gear slots per loadout. You're going to pick your loadout before the match, and you're going to have a preset amount of gear in this loadout. Now, gear is really cool in this game. It's a lot like guns were back in Borderlands. You accumulate gear by playing through the story. You'll pick them up naturally, or you can buy gear packs. Now, there's another way you can get gear, and that's by defeating certain bosses. Let's actually take a look at some of the unique gear in the game. For example, the pacifier is earned by defeating Isaac, and it is a special drop. You can increase your chances of getting these drops by playing the story mode missions on harder difficulties or turning on the modifier hardcore, which removes respawn lives, so you have to revive people. This is a unique piece of gear, costs 1,800, it's very expensive to activate in the game, and that costs shards. Now, shards are a currency that you will find in Battleborn, in the multiplayer maps, and in the single player. You break those shards, you get money, and you use that money to activate your gear in-game. So, your gear slot is picked, your loadout is determined before the match starts, but to activate the actual items in your loadout, you're going to have to use shards. Now, there's more gear in the game that you can unlock that is character-specific. For example, this is a character-specific piece of gear for Deandy that gives her a special ability. Activating Hollow Twin, that's her Q, causes your shields to immediately begin recharging. Another one for Umbra gives her regenerating heat. And this one is for Shane and Auroch. So those are just a couple examples. There should be one for every character in the game, and I haven't unlocked all those yet. So you guys can pick your favorite character, grind out some of these lore challenges that you can see here, and earn those pieces of unique gear. One more thing I should talk about while I'm on this screen is while you get gear, you can unlock gear if you're not unlocking it through killing bosses. You can get it through these supply packs. So some of these supply packs gives you skins or taunts for certain Battleborn characters. Let's check out some of those right now. You go over to the appearances tab. You can unlock 3 taunts through progression. You start off with 1 or unlock more through those packs, and these skins are unlocked through character leveling. My Umbra is character rank 15, which is the max character rank, and that has given me all of this awesome stuff. Throughout leveling up your character as well, you will get mutations. There are 5 mutations per character, And these are middle abilities in your helix. You can forgo the left or right ability and take a middle ability to further customize your character. So there's plenty of ways to earn gear in Battleborn, whether you want to do it in the single player, in the multiplayer, through buying packs, like you can in this little marketplace right here. But there are some packs that you can only unlock by leveling up, and those are the commander packs. As you guys see here, I have a UPR and rogue commander pack saved up, along with standard faction packs. We're going to open all these today. We're going to open a couple epic packs, a couple rare packs, some uncommon packs, a common pack, and also for hitting level 100, you can unlock a legendary gear pack. And this legendary gear pack, you'll only ever get one of as you play Battleborn, and contains 4 to 5 pieces of gear with 1 orange item guaranteed. So let's actually start opening these packs right here. These white common packs you can only get through this marketplace, and sometimes they are on sale. Right now they're 50% off. I picked one up before the video. So let's open that up and see if we get anything cool. Now, common gear isn't necessarily terrible in Battleborn. This is gear that's extremely cheap to activate. As you see, this one gives me 9% critical hit damage. That's nothing too amazing, but costs 360 compared to this piece of gear over here that costs 739 but has way more benefits and actually a minus damage reduction. There is a time and place for gear that actually removes some stats from your character. We'll talk about that a little later. But this piece of gear right here, this depleted battery, actually has a negative effect on it, but it's free to purchase. So as soon as you spawn in the match, whether it be single player or multiplayer, you can buy this piece of gear right away. I'm actually not going to keep any of this gear, so we're going to sell it, and we get 10 coins, as you can see right here, per sale. That's not very much, but none of this gear is stuff that I want. Let's check out an uncommon loot pack. This guarantees you 1 common piece of gear and can give you 2 to 3 pieces of gear. I didn't get very lucky right here, so I didn't get anything too cool, but this is green gear. Pretty easy to get in the game. Alright, we're going to scrap all those pieces of gear. Let's check out what a rare loot pack does. This gives you more gear, 3 to 4 guaranteed. Looks like I did get lucky right there and got 4 pieces of gear. And the rare gear is guaranteed in this pack. Got 2 very similar pieces of gear right here. This one is free but gives me less shield strength. This one also gives me less shield strength but comes with more benefits and is slightly more expensive because it is a rare piece of gear. Next, you've got some sprint speed gear here and a CC duration piece of gear. But I don't need any of that. I'll show you guys all the cool stuff I've accumulated in a little bit. Let's go over the epic loot packs, and then we're going to go over the faction loot packs in a moment. I'm going to open a ton of these, and we're just going to take a look at the purples. Let's just take a look at the purples right here. This is a really nice sundial right here. It gives me increased heal power and decreased cooldown time. This would be great on a character like Umbra or Miko, who has healing output, supports the team, and reduces the cooldown on their abilities. I'm actually going to keep this. This is a great piece of gear. And by reducing cooldown on their abilities, Umbra and Miko can further increase their healing on the team. Let's open a couple more loot packs, and I'm only going to take a look at the purples.
Commander. Epic level gear identified.
Alright, this is a shield penetration piece of gear. Great for a character like Oscar Mike or Whiskey. It also gives them less on the shield recharge delay. Let's keep that one as well. Alright, we have 3 more epic packs we're going to open here. These all guarantee me a purple item.
Level gear identified, Commander.
All right, that one got me some critical hit gear. Let's keep that. I like the color purple. Get rid of some of this cheap gear here. I have plenty of cheap gear.
Epic level gear identified. Huzzah!
And we have a really great piece of gear here for Oscar Mike. This reduces his recoil and increases his reload speed. I actually might use this one. So you can still see, even though I've accumulated 159 pieces of gear, there is still plenty that I don't have and want. And if you don't have enough gear slots, I actually have more gear slots than you start off with in-game because I've been purchasing them. You can purchase 40 additional bank slots when you buy a bank page. This costs 7,125 right now, but it's on sale for 50% off in this current build game that I'm playing.
Level gear identified.
All right, last one.
I bet you're all kinds of jazzed right now.
And we are going to move in a second to the faction loot packs, which give you certain other benefits. I do have gear similar to this, decreased damage reduction and increased reload speed. That's great for survivability purposes. Alright, let's open some faction packs right now. I have one of every faction. Let's start off with Eldred.
Epic level gear identified. Huzzah!
Oh, wow. I got really lucky right here. I got a nice Eldred healing piece of gear. This increases your health and increases healing received. That'd be amazing for a character like Boulder. Makes him even tankier, and if you put a Miko behind him, will increase the amount of healing he gets. It's a great piece of Eldred gear right there, and Boulder is an Eldred character. Alright, time for the Generate. My favorite faction in the game.
Epic level gear identified. I bet you're all kinds of jazzed right now.
I'm getting really lucky with these epic pieces of gear. These faction packs don't necessarily give you epic pieces of gear all the time, but they do sometimes give you skins, and it looks like we just got a Caldarius skin right here. Let's actually check that out in a moment. And that piece of gear I just got right there increases attack speed and crits. That'd be great for Caldarius. Let's check out that piece of gear on Caldarius. This isn't a character that I play too often, but as you can see there, that's his default taunt.
Such a pity.
And Caldarius, with his new taunt, curb stomping people. That's a taunt that you can only get from these faction packs. Let's check out LLC loot pack now. That's for characters like Phoebe, Khalees, Isaac. Let's see what we got. Nothing too cool. Just got 2 pieces of green gear that would work with those kinds of characters. Let's move on here to a rogue loot pack.
Epic level gear identified, Commander.
More epic gear. This increases your sprint speed and CC duration, so that's great for like a Shane and Aurochs for running up, catching up to enemies, punching them in the face with your sprint. Alright, and the last faction in the game, the UPR, let's check out what I get from their loot pack. Got another skin. Oh, that's a really cool Benedict skin. And 2 pieces of gear that I don't really care for. We're going to go ahead and sell those back. Let's go check out what Benedict skin I just got right there. Covert Hawk. Wow, that's actually a dark pink skin right here on Benedict. Even changed the color of his rocket launcher that you'll see in first person. That's really cool. I'm actually going to use that on Benedict when I play him next. And now let's move on to the Commander packs. We have a UPR and Rogue Commander pack. You get these for leveling up at levels like 65, 70, intervals of 5, and you get the Legendary Gear pack. You're only going to get one of these for hitting level 100, so this will be a pretty exclusive opening. Let's start off with the Rogue Commander pack. That got me some coins. Sometimes you can get coins from packs. That's 500. That's not a bad amount. Got some movement speed gear here. And this is a cool piece of rogue gear. So when you activate this, it actually generates shards. So if you activate this early in a multiplayer or single player match, it does have an initial cost, but you'll make up for that cost because this gear will regenerate money in your wallet. Let's actually keep those and open up the UPR Commander pack. Alright, we got a cool skin for Galilea. Get a lot of pink skins right now. And 2 pieces of gear here. And now the pack that we've all been waiting for, the one I've been saving up. This is a Legendary Gear pack. Contains 4 to 5 pieces of gear with 1 legendary orange item guaranteed.
Holy crap. Legendary gear identified.
This is the only gear pack in the game that will give you orange gear as of right now. Wow, I actually haven't seen this before. Loriam Purse Cutter. 1.89 bonus shards per second. That's a good amount. You do get decreased CC duration. You'll be CC'd less when enemies attack you. Steal shards from enemy players equal to 10% of damage dealt. That is awesome. That is unlike any other piece of gear I have in the game. It does cost a lot to activate. One thing I want to point out about gear is players aren't going to necessarily have an advantage because they have rarer gear than you. As you can see, it costs more, it costs a lot to activate, but when you do activate it, it'll be in the late game, so you're giving up an early game advantage, but you will get a ton of shards back with that 10% steal. So we're going to go ahead and sort our gear here by type, and as you can see, there's a lot of gear that looks similar, and each of those pieces of gear share similar properties. For example, all these syringes have health regen, but different pieces of gear will have additional properties that are different. So this piece of gear gives me health regen for 30 seconds after assisting in killing a player or major enemy. This one gives me extra health regen for surviving for 3 minutes. And they are of different rarities. Generally, the cheaper ones are going to be more common, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're worse. If you have a cheap gearbox, that does mean you can spend less time farming shards and more time playing the objective, whatever that objective may be. So this is health regen gear right here. This is what that looks like. This is some damage reduction gear, all these little shoulder pad things. This is a unique piece of gear from Isaac, and these are all attack damage gear. That's great for offensive based characters like Wrath or Phoebe. These ones are skill damage. This is an Umbra specific piece of gear, and skill damage is great for characters that rely on using their abilities to output pain. Right here, these are attack speed pieces of gear. That's great for melee based characters like Dandy, so they can swing harder at enemy players. You have reload pieces of gear here that are great for Oscar Mikes or anyone with a magazine, really. And some of these pieces of gear do actually have detriments to them. Like this one, for example, does increase your reload speed by 21%, but reduces your health regeneration by 7 per second. That's great on a character like Oscar Mike, who doesn't have health regeneration, but terrible on a character who's an Eldred like Thorn, who could benefit from the reload speed reloading her bow, but she does have natural health regeneration. That would be inhibited. We have maximum health increases on these chest pieces. Increased movement speed on these boot pieces of gear. This movement speed is once again great for melee-based characters. Healing gear that would be useless on characters that can't output healing, but great on support characters. I rock this piece of gear right here, this remedy box on Umbra. That also increases my healing received as an extra bonus. Some of this other gear just increases your heal power. As you can see, this one is cheaper. Then you have healing received pendants that will increase things like damage reduction, or this other purple one that I have that increases maximum health. You have crit gear. This is actually a unique piece of crit gear right here that I got from a boss. This is a boss drop. And we have gear that actually decreases the cost of buildables, so it would be great in a competitive sense to have a builder on your team who would buy a piece of gear like this and then go around buying turrets on the map because they would be cheaper for them to purchase, thanks to an initial investment on a wrench piece of gear. You have shield strength pieces of gear. You can actually put these on Eldred characters to give them more durability in combat. Then you have shard generators like I spoke about earlier. You have gear that reduces your shield recharge delay. You have shield recharge per second increase gear. CC duration type gear, which decreases the amount of time you spend crowd controlled by abilities like Wrath Smash. Cooldown gear, sprint gear, reload gear, and finally shield penetration gear. So as you can tell, there is a ton that you can do to customize your characters in Battleborn, ranging from skins, taunts, and unique pieces of gear that you can use to best your enemies on the battlefield. Anyway, I hope you guys learned a lot about how the command menu works in Battleborn, gear, and what you can expect when the game launches on May 3rd. You can check me out on Twitter at StealthShampoo and streaming Battleborn on twitch.tv/StealthShampoo. And be sure to follow Battleborn on Twitter as well, at Battleborn. I've been your host, Nikki from StealthShampoo, leader of the Battleborn team, Salt Command, and I'll see you guys all on the battlefield.